Welcome to the online meditation center. Today I thought I'd talk a little bit about the greatest journey that anyone can ever embark upon. And of course that journey is the journey to find oneself. The journey to realize who and what you are. Alternatively, what all of this is. What is this thing that is experiencing this life? It's me, you could say. And you'd be right. It is you. But that's not where the trouble lies. Rather, it lies where what you mean with I is. If that sentence made sense. What do you refer to when you say, I am the one experiencing this life? You as a person? You as this human character? And you might say, well, I don't know. Isn't that what I am? A human being? Well, you obviously have the experience of being a human being. But there is a subtle difference between you and the human being part. Because the journey to realize who you are as a human being, that's not too difficult. That's a conglomeration of everything you've experienced during this life, this human life. Your family, your upbringing, your friends, your biology, your genes. Everything that has gone into assembling, you could say, your current personality, your interests, what you like to do, what you don't like to do, your tastes, your preferences. And although there might be a lot to dig into when it comes to your human part, all of it is still further away from you, more external than you might think. Because when you say, I am the one who experienced this life, is it really all of these characteristics which belong in the conceptual bag that together forms your human personality, your human character, Or is it something prior to that? You experienced life the day you were born as well. And the day you were born was before any of these characteristics had been put on you. Sure, you might have had some genetical predispositions that might mold how you would experience this life, how you would act, how you would be. But they hadn't even come to any sort of real fruition yet. 2 seconds after your birth. But still, there you were, experiencing life right out of the womb. And then you might say, yeah, but that was an incomplete me. I hadn't really been formed yet. It was just a shell, not the complete human being that I am now. But then take a deeper look. Could you really be, at any point in time, incomplete? If you stop thinking for just 30 seconds, completely stop thinking, and you sit down and you don't move, you don't speak, you don't do anything, what happens to you? Do you become less complete? Because when you sit down and you stop all motion, outside and inside motion, you don't think, you don't speak, you don't move, you don't do anything, you're just here, then we have pretty much paused all of your human characteristics. Sure, there's a mind in here that has still had the experiences, but they're not being utilized in any way when you're completely silent. And so that's the closest we can get to how you were the second you were born. Because your human characteristics will make themselves be known by what you do and what you say, how you act, how you treat others, how you react to how others treat you. And all of these things, they have to become activated by things that happen, by stimuli from your environment. So when you stop everything and you're just here, silent, aware, then we have, as far as we can, dampened, put a silencer on most of your human characteristics. If you try it right now, just be silent all the way in. And just be aware of yourself as you exist. With nothing else added on to it. Is your awareness becoming more narrow? Or is it opening? When you're entirely silent, can you feel that the quality of your experiencing or experience of this moment actually widen, and it starts taking on a different quality, a deeper feel, something not too easy to put words on or put into words. Of course, this will require you to be able to actually be quiet inside without always having a million thoughts pushing and have something to say, so they don't interrupt you while you recalibrate into now. So that might take some time to learn. But if you do, and you're able to just stop, and you just notice while you're silent the experience of being yourself, the experience of being not all those things that you think of as your human self, but the pure self, the one that as much as possible resembles the 1 second old newborn. And then ask yourself, who is experiencing this life? Is it all these characteristics that we have piled on to ourselves during our lives as a human being? Are they these conceptual things, the things that is experiencing this moment? Or can you actually do without all of them? And it will in no way impede on your experience. So if you find this one, the one having the experience, not being dependent upon all the human characteristics, then you have already come a long way on the greatest journey a human being can embark upon. In fact, that's how easy it is. Just let everything go. And look now. And of course, we're talking about realizing truth here. the fundamental truth, becoming so-called enlightened. Because this is completely connected to that. You don't need any gurus or masters or any knowledge, any books, anything. Because all the knowledge that you learn, if you believe in it, that is the very thing keeping you separated from it. Because for as long as you take a certain piece of knowledge to be truth, no matter how beautiful that knowledge is, no matter how profound or deep it seems to be, all knowledge, if it comes from external sources and not your direct experience, just creates layers shielding you from the truth, shielding you from who you are. Because every time you become silent and you start poking into the deeper source of your experience, some piece of knowledge will arise in you and label it. Oh, now I'm so deep in meditation, I have, I've reached the body paralysis stage. Oh, now I'm so deep in meditation that I've reached that place that Zen teacher talked about. And it pulls you out. Or you might find as you progress, you could say, on the path, and you start becoming more and more silent, every time you get really into this moment and you're beginning to be able to be in this moment aware and silent for longer and longer, and you kind of really connect to reality, all the spiritual knowledge that you have accumulated will surface. Holy shit, I think I'm enlightened. Pulling you right out. Whoa, I'm so in Zen right now. Pulling you right out. So every time you go to such deep levels that you're completely present, everything you know will pile on to your experience and you will start thinking again. So the smartest thing you can do if you want to wake up, if you want to find out for real who are you, who is it that is having this experience, and what is this experience, then the first thing you should do is discard all your knowledge, all your beliefs, everything inside here. Just drop it. All your knowledge. Drop it right away, as fast as you can. Because where you're going, which is nowhere, it's just here, you will not be able to bring any of your knowledge. Anything. All beliefs will hinder your progress. You see, the mind is so clever. It loves to pick apart things, section it up. Look at it from all different angles. And question everything. And this is a good quality. It's perfect. But not if you think that you have to understand this with your mind. Because you can't understand this with your mind. You can only be it. And so your mind having free reins, you could say, to pick apart anything and ask 1,000,000 questions will only delay you realizing the truth. Because there will always be the next question. And you will look at all these people who point to the truth. And each pointer will spawn 1,000,000 new questions. Ranging from, does he or she really know what they're talking about, or are they just pretending? Does it actually exist, something that they're talking about right now? Is that real? But what about that guy who said this thing? That doesn't sound like the same like this girl said, or that woman, or that dude. They're all saying different things, but they all claim to be awake. So what's up? And so each pointer will spawn 1,000,000 questions. And the point is, none of this matters. None of it. You don't need anything. You need to be present, here and now, and drop your beliefs, drop your thoughts. Just don't think. Don't let that forever moving machinery in your head spin or control you. Ignore it. Because the damnedest thing about this journey to finding out who is having this experience is that you're already here. There is no journey. Not really. You could say there exists a spiritual journey where we grow up spiritually. But that's something else. That is not enlightenment. In the spiritual journey, sure, we have lots to learn, but even that, we won't really learn that by thinking. We'll learn it by being our authentic selves and just dealing with life, dealing with problems that appear the best way we can. Realizing truth is something else. Realizing truth isn't actually conventional spirituality. Enlightenment isn't actually spirituality. Sure, it's called spiritual enlightenment, but that's just because it's outside of the bounds of this physical reality. It's not actually that spiritual, it's just reality. Realizing reality, the fundamental reality. And since it is the only thing that exists, there's nowhere to go to realize it. You're already here. It's everything that you have put onto yourself since the first time you started existing is what is creating all these layers, separating you from the pure vision. Because it's right here, right now. But what you believe about the world, what you believe about being a human being, believing you are a human being, and everything you're believing about the non-physical reality, all of this is trapping you. Still, we can't really do anything about it. We have to pass through this strange journey. But it is possible to shorten it. If you could just drop all your knowledge right away and just realize that, okay, whatever truth is, whatever I am, it has to be here already. It has to be what I already am. And so I do not need any of these teachings. I do not need any of these books. I don't need to do anything other than sit here and ask myself, what is real? What am I? Who am I? Until I know it. Just imagine if you could just do that. Stop all the movements in your mind. Become crystal clear right here, right now. And you just hold the intention. Who am I? What is this? And no matter what you're doing throughout your life, you keep being aware now. In meditation, you could say, pure meditation. And whatever you're doing, you're aware, silent, and you just hold the question wordlessly in your mind. What is this? Who am I? Who is experiencing this life? What is this? If that was the only thing you did, your only teaching is to be quiet, aware, now. With the question, who am I? You would be leaps and bounds in front of 99% of seekers. You would be where most seekers don't end up until they've been spinning their wheels for decades and they suddenly just give up because they just can't do it anymore. They've spent all their energy, there's no more to do. They've followed all the teachers, all the gurus, read all the books, and they're still seeking. And so they just give up. And that's often when stuff starts to happen. So if you can just bypass all of that bullcrap and just be here now. Then you would be where you'd end up anyway. And you would let life have a chance to show itself to you. Let you show yourself to you.